Jon Savage, UCLA baseball coach, back again. How are you, Coach?
Good, thanks, Joe.
Ready for the season?
Absolutely. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Let's talk about. I think the thing that's on everyone's mind first and foremost is the AD the AD era is Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer are done.
Yep.
And what is it like to replace those guys?
Well, you never replace that type of talent, that type of ability. But we feel very confident with this group of guys. I mean, we have an edge. I really do. I really feel like we have a certain edge to us that I think everybody feels good about. The program, the coaching staff, the leaders in our clubhouse. We're hungry, and coming off last year, not getting back to Omaha from the previous year was a disappointment, and it ended bitter. And I think this team knows that. We addressed, obviously Trevor and Garrett leaving, and now it's time to move on and get after this year.
You guys had some early season struggles last year, and I think we can all agree that everyone kind of thought with those two horses that by the end of the year you guys would be right back in Omaha.
Yeah.
And the baseball seasons end so abruptly.
Yeah.
What was it like kind of coming into this clubhouse afterwards and saying, hey, that's how quickly it can go. That's how quickly it can end. Well,
I think it's just a lesson for this group of players that are coming back. I mean, that, if you don't take care of business, it can end pretty quick.
Yeah.
And, coming out of the West is one of the most difficult things in college baseball to do. We had we had, San Francisco and Fresno. We had Irvine here, very, very tough regional. And we're the 1 seed. We won the Pac-10, and we kind of put ourselves kind of at the end of the year in the position we wanted to be. Yeah. And we couldn't get out of that regional. To Irvine's credit, they beat us in the 9th inning. And so they realized that the expectations fell short. But this junior class has won a lot of games the last 2 years. And we hope to pick it up and get after it again this year and make another run at Omaha.
Let's talk a little bit about this junior class, and let's start with the pitching staff, actually.
Yeah.
Before we break it down into class, let's start with pitching.
Yeah.
You replaced, obviously, the two horses, but you got a couple of pretty good ones coming up.
Yeah, we do. We love the three sophomores, with Plutko and Nick Vandertig and Zach Weiss are talented sophomores as you're going to get out there in college baseball. So really three dynamic arms. They're all 90 guys. They have good breaking balls. They have good changeups. They have good deliveries. I feel a lot of confidence with those guys. Scott Griggs is going to be our closer. Yeah. Really turned the corner mentality and physically. I mean, he's always had a big arm. Yeah. I mean, he's up to 93, 94, and he's throwing strikes. And we like our bullpen. Some no-names, I guess you could say, in terms of the college baseball world, but some guys that we feel are very competitive and guys that can step in and fill a role. And so I think our pitching is going to be better than people think. They think, oh gosh, your pitching is not going to be very good since you lost those guys. But that group has an edge to them too, and knowing that they have to bounce back and meet those expectations that we've had in our program the last several years.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier today, these guys don't sign 10-year contracts.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, they sign 3.
Yeah.
So you're used to this. You're used to this kind of turnover.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're ever going to see another Cole and Bauer on the same time, but you're used to kind of making guys sort of readjust their mind frame year after year. Yeah. To have 3 sophomores in that rotation, to have 3 guys who are only going to be growing together and then growing together towards next year. Yeah. Does that change kind of how you handle these guys? The fact that they're all the same age and you're going to have them for another year? Yeah,
I mean, a little bit. I mean, we've had great staffs here, from Hector Ambrose to David Huff to Tyson Brummett to Cole and Bauer. So they know the history, and they know really the health. I mean, we've always stayed healthy throughout the year. We've pitched several years where we pitched 4 starters. Yeah. And that's really how you draw it up, and you have roles. I mean, we talk about roles, not being somebody else that you're not, and we're coming in and taking care of business and, hand the baton off, really, to the bullpen and then to the closer. So I really like the fact that I got 2 years with this group, potentially starting on the weekends, and it should be a lot of fun. They're very talented, and they're guys that have a chance to be impact pitchers right away this year, and then certainly knowing that you're going to have them for another year. So I think our pitching is going to be very good, not only this year, but even better down the road.
From what we discussed earlier, it sounds like you're even a little more excited about the hitting. Your lineup this year.
Yeah, and I think everybody would probably look at me a little funny there. I mean, we had a rough year offensively. We had a tough time scoring runs.
Adjusting to the new bats.
Adjusting to the new bats was a deal, but this group of juniors has won 86 games in 2 years. There's not a whole lot of programs that have done that, can say that, certainly on the West. So I think it's, you look at Bo Amroy, you look at Cody Kiefer, you look at Jeff Jelich and Trevor Brown and Cody Regis. All those guys have been part of our success over the last 2 years, and they had terrific freshman year, and some of them struggled their sophomore years. So I think we're going to be much improved offensively as well. I mean, we can run. We're left-handed. We are experienced, and they've been through every Pac-10 site, and they've been everywhere in terms of they've played 16 postseason games. I mean, that's a lot of baseball in the postseason. So we have a lot of confidence that this group of position players are going to bounce back and going to be a little more offensive than people think.
Yeah. When you approach the fact that the season's starting so soon, what's the mind frame like right now? You're only 3 days away from the beginning of the season.
Just energy and excitement. Guys are getting antsy. Guys are getting ready. Oh yeah.
How about you?
Oh, everybody is. I mean, I'm in the same boat as they are. You just never know. You never know what you have until you get into it. But we have a lot of trust with our program, and we have a lot of guys that have been through it, and so there's a lot of people believing in each other. And like I said, it's a really good clubhouse, solid chemistry, and we have good leaders, and we have 5 good captains, and it's just that it's a journey that they know that they're in, and there's a window of opportunity that this team is up until July 1. We always say there's a window of opportunity, and we're in it. So let's make the most of it.
Last thing I have for you is, the kind of emotions that you get over the last couple of years are so different. You ride that incredible 2010 season all the way over to Omaha, all the way to the championship game, and then you lose that one, and then that kind of heartbreak. And then last season, just sort of more. Just the process was a little more frustrating and a little more drawn out. Yeah. Then you peaking where you think at the right time and all that kind of stuff. How do you think those cumulative emotions over the last couple of years will trickle down into this year with some of these guys like Bo, like Cody, guys who've been around the block? Do you think that you have a good, emotional leadership base from everything that's happened?
Yeah, I do. I mean, every team takes blows. I mean, there's adversity with every team. I mean, one of the biggest things, our biggest weekends of the year in 2010 is when we got swept by Arizona State. Yeah. We were on a roll. We were beating everybody, and they came in here and, they handled us. And we turned our season, not around, to say the least, but it was a wake-up call. And you just don't know what's going to affect teams. And I think the fact that Trevor and Garrett are gone, I think is going to really help this team. In a different way, and I just there's a lot of confidence, and there's a lot of belief that we have a very good team, and getting the next hitter to the plate, or like I said, handing the ball off to the next pitcher, and there just seems to be a special thing about this team that I think everybody feels pretty confident that we're going to make another run at it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Happy Valentine's Day. Any big plans for tonight?
No, just going over Maryland, taking a look at Maryland. And
that's not romantic, Coach.
I know, but it's baseball season.
But it's 3 days before.
It's baseball season.
I got you. Coach Savage, UCLA head coach, on the eve of the season. Thanks so much.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.